What up, y'all? It is Will, founder of the Mary App Plant Intelligence Research Organization, and I am here with another YouTube video. Today, I'm going to be going over the Mary App current status. Maybe we'll call this a progress report, as well as some improvements that we're looking to make before launch. So let's dive into it. Here, I got the Mary App pulled up, and the Mary App is a cannabis tracking and insights app. We're building a new way to understand your personal relationship with cannabis, and we're doing that with a app that works sort of like a fitness tracker. This is the way that I've been explaining it to most people. It's working sort of like a fitness tracker, but for weed. So instead of tracking your steps, you're tracking your hits. So what we've done is we've been working over the last, well, on this rendition, last couple months, but it's been a project that's been in the works for a while, and we're gearing up to launch. As you can see here, we're on the home page of the app, and we got maryapp.io. It's already actually launched for like public beta, let's call it. You could go on and go to maryapp.io right now and start logging your sessions. So if you're watching this and you want to give it a try, please do. Leave a comment down there and let us know what you think. But I'm posting this right after I finish, so it'll be fresh up on YouTube. Shout out to everybody that's been watching our videos so far. We've gotten some pretty decent viewership compared to what I thought, just from being a page with no videos. I'm happy with our progress. I've taken some time in this January to just really focus on building the app, using the app. As you can see, I've been using it for 25 days here in my day streak, 134 total sessions. So we've been really refining the app. We've made tons of improvements. I've been meaning to make one of these progress report videos in the meantime, but I haven't gotten around to it. So here we are, progress report on the Mary app. And the way that we use the Mary app is you're tracking your sessions. So I'm going to go ahead and get us started here, rolling up some of this wedding pie, looking real nice. So while I roll that up, let's go ahead and start a session. So in the Mary app, you have basically, this is the main function, is starting sessions and logging sessions. So first it's going to ask you what you're consuming. Since if this was a new strain that I was smoking for the first time, never logged a session, we would type it in here. But because I've already smoked on this wedding pie quite a bit, what we're going to go in is we're going to go to my recent sessions. We're going to choose this wedding pie. However, we're going to be rolling up a joint. Shout out to the Jilters folks over here at Jilters. We're going to be rolling up a nice little 1 gram joint. So my last session that I logged with the wedding pie, which you can see I got my strain, I got my little image here, we got our mother-father, which is grape pie times wedding cake. But down here, the last time that I smoked was a bong, so this time I'm going to say it's a joint. I'm going to say that it's a 1 gram joint. We're smoking for fun. We're smoking to relax. We're smoking to make a video. Should we add that? Sick. And we're smoking with chat. Even though you guys aren't chatting here, we'll just add that. And we're at home. So as you can see, I'm rolling this up, but we're going to go ahead and log that that's what we're rolling in order to log our session. So one of the biggest reasons why we built this app is because one of the things that's missing in the cannabis industry is consumption data. So we have a lot of data that is available in the industry. And a lot of that data has to do with what products are produced, what products are sold. So we have a lot of production data, we have a lot of sales data, but a lot of times where that data trail ends, like let's say that we're talking about the plant is grown, the plant is processed, the plant is packaged, the plant is sold. We have all the data points of where the product came from, how it got to us. However, what we're missing is the data after the sale. So we want to know these questions that we just answered here as a business owner, as a grower, as somebody that's just interested in the industry and what people are interested in. We need to know this information. So we want to know, first of all, what are people consuming? We want to know how much are they consuming. So right now, we got some of this wedding pie. We got a 1 gram joint. We want to know why you're smoking. So I smoke mostly for recreation and relaxation. No, we're throwing it in there that I'm doing a YouTube video. We want to know who you're smoking with, and we want to know where you're smoking. So this is all data that we can take, aggregate, and do all sorts of studies on. We can also take that data and let's say that I was smoking an actual, not just like a strain, but an actual product from a brand. We could take that and charge the brand for an account on Mary so that they can start to gain insights into how consumers are using their products in order to make data-informed decisions. Remember, guys, we're not in kindergarten anymore. We smoke weed. We don't do glue. Always rip off the glue. And most papers, I've been smoking with these jilters, they'll do fine without the glue. Same thing with OCB papers, which is my all-time favorite. All right. So we said we were going to do a progress report and we're going to talk about improvements. So before we begin our session, I want to talk about one of the first improvements that we want to make to the app. Well, not first improvements, but an improvement on this page that we believe that we could make to the app that would really make things better. So remember that I talked about what we were consuming, and this data is really important, right? So we know that I'm smoking on this wedding pie. We know that I rolled this 1 gram joint. However, we're missing a data point. I shouted out Jilter. I'll shout out Quick Grinder Original. These are devices that I'm using. Maybe I'm using typically like a rig to take dabs or a bong to take bong rips. That device is something that we want to add on here. So right now we're letting a user add what they're consuming in terms of an item, either a strain or a product. But the next thing that we want to add is going to be a feature that will let you add a device so that you can start to have an idea of like what devices that you're using the most, as well as device manufacturers would be able to see how people are using their devices, what they're using them with, what they're smoking out of, all sorts of data that they can use to make these data-informed decisions. So there's the first improvement that we plan on making, or not the first, but one improvement that we plan on making. But that'll be an improvement that we'll make after the launch because it's not 100% necessary for launch. There's one improvement in particular that we're going to be talking about that we are working on and should be up and ready to go maybe even today. That'll be a big improvement that we're making before we do a full-on launch. As I said, you can go ahead and create an account and start logging your sessions by just going to the Mary app and creating an account, calling it kind of like a beta release. However, it's not going to be ready because we haven't added the stash feature that we'll talk about in just a bit. So, as we can see, we've started the session. We got wedding pie, 1 gram joint, relaxation and recreation, and YouTube video. Myself and you. If we wanted to, we could go in and edit any of this information. Let's say that like the mother and father, maybe it was wrong. Well, the way that we found that out to begin with was by just asking the answers. So we got wedding pie, genetic lineage, wedding cake and grape pie, Canorado genetics. It's tasty. So if we wanted to edit things, we could go in there, but since we don't need to, and that's all correct there. The next things that you're asking for is to describe the aroma. What effects do you feel? How much have you consumed? What's the overall potency? How do you rate this session? Typically, like when I first start smoking, I can start to notice the flavor and the smell. So in this one in particular, let's see. Tasting some cereal. See, now let's say that we wanted to just filter some of these. Some gas. Maybe some cream. Yeah, as you are smoking, this is when you'll start to answer these things. So we'll start to answer the aroma. However, the effects take a little while to kick in. So you don't always have to just like log everything right away. Take time, consume, smoke, enjoy, and the effects will come out over time. Sometimes I have a strain that like feels like it's kind of like alert and active, and then by the end of the joint, I'm out. I'm tired, I'm sleepy. I think right now I'm feeling a little chatty, so let's go ahead and add that in there. But maybe that's just because we're hanging out here. All right, so we will leave this here and come back to it. But for now, let's go over some of the other features on the app. So we'll have our little timer going here. We can click back here to continue the session. But for now, let's go ahead and check out some of these other main features. We have our gamification features, we have our day streak feature, and we have our stats. So let's go ahead and jump into day streak. So currently, I'm on a 25-day streak. That means that I've been using the app for 25 consecutive days. Every day for 25 days, I've come here, I've logged my sessions. At least one session is all it takes in order to keep your day streak, and I've done that. As you can see, I created my account, I logged a couple sessions that day, and then I didn't use the app for 4 days. We had something going on and I wasn't able to. However, then for the last 25 days consecutively, I have used the app. If I wanted to conserve, let's say that one day I decide that I just don't feel like smoking. I want to take a little tolerance break, take some time for my tolerance to go up, because when you smoke cannabis every day, sometimes, well, not sometimes, always, it makes your tolerance go up. So it's going to take more cannabis to feel the same effect as opposed to if you were just using it, once in a while. So if I was wanting to take a tolerance break, meaning a little break from smoking today in order to make my tolerance go back down so I don't need as much cannabis, what I could do is I could take a break. I'm not going to do it now because I don't want any of these blue circles, but what we would do is I could take a break. It would turn one of these circles into a blue circle. It would add that I've taken one break. As you can see, I've said 0 breaks taken, and I would keep my day streak. So let's say that I didn't take a break and I didn't track my sessions for a day. My day streak would go back to 0. But we don't want to like discourage people or make people feel like we don't want to make people feel like they have to smoke every day to keep the day streak. But we also don't want to we don't want to hurt them because they didn't want to smoke that day. So we'll give you an option to use this tolerance break. So nothing has really changed here. I have some ideas of things that we can do, like this, for instance. Like, it'd be nice to see how many sessions that I did that day, because my goal could have been different. So it would be nice to be able to see that. But for now, this day streak page is looking pretty solid. Now let's check out the gamification. So gamification, every time that you log a session, you get XP, meaning experience points, not experiment points. It could work. You are experimenting, but you have experience points, XP, every time that you do it. By default, you get 50 XP every time that you log a session. We also, though, have multipliers. Multipliers help you to multiply that 50 XP, how many XP that you're getting per session, and you get these multipliers by maintaining your day streak. So when you get a 7-day streak, you get a 1.2. I think 14 days is 1.5, and then I'm not sure exactly. We need to add that here. So there's an improvement that we need to add. We need to add like what the day streak or the multiplier breakdown is, because I know right now I'm on a 2x multiplier, but I don't remember exactly what gave me that. So I should remember because I built it, but there's a lot going on here. So every time that you get XP, you progress through levels. So we're going to skip this and jump down to the levels. Currently, we have 10 levels. We're going to be adding like tons of more levels. We've been working on the level progression structure of how many XP. Currently, it's a little low, so we're going to be changing some of these numbers. Like right now, it only takes 100 XP to get to level 2. I think that we need to make it to where like it takes even some XP to get to level 1. So then we need to move all these numbers back, make these a little bit higher so that it takes a couple of days, at least like a week or two to get through these. And then we're going to add multiple more levels. I think we're going to go up to like 50 to start. And then the first person that gets to 50, shout out to them. That means that we are crushing it, because that means that somebody has been logging sessions for a long time and really like using the app. So that means that we're doing a good thing. And by then we'll have a better idea of how we want to deal with these. Another improvement that we're going to be making here is turning this into a carousel. And instead of having it just be like this, have it be a carousel. And we're going to be working with some artists in order to design level images so that you have like a really cool level card that pops up that you get to see the new image every time that you progress. So we'll have these like blurred out so that you can't see them. Right now we just have these little stars as stand-ins, but we want to work with an artist, and I have a couple of artists in mind that hopefully will want to join the team and be part of this. So every time that you progress in XP, you progress in levels, and the idea is that you log your sessions, you gain XP, you progress in levels, and as you do that, you learn more insights into your relationship with cannabis. So we also have challenges and achievements. We need to come up with some more challenges and more achievements. So that's an improvement that's going to be coming before the launch. Right now, you can see some of the achievements that I've done and some of the XP that I've gained because of it. But these we're going to need to change too, like 50 sessions completed. That's way too much XP to give. XP milestone of 5,000. That's way too much to give, because why give them 5,000 when they just got 5,000? We kind of just put these in as placeholders to begin with, just so we could play with them, see it as we progress, as they show up. As you can see, I've gained all of these, but we're going to be making some improvements to those achievements and challenges before the launch, so that there's lots of different things that people can be doing, and they're not just like basically racking up all the achievements right off the bat like I did. So the last thing on here is our leader. This is going to be, I think, a really cool part of the app. We're going to be able to use this for a lot of ways. Right now we have just a global leaderboard. These are all of us that are testing app right now. Me, Nick, Eric, Jasper, Akib. We're all just testing the app. As you can see, I am winning. Shout out, 35 sessions, top strain papaya, taking dabs of this papaya. I've been taking a lot more bong rips recently though, which has been cool. Here's my XP. I'm on a 7-day streak. Top feeling is relaxed. You can see everybody's breakdown. So we can see like Eric, Red Pop Runts, 9 sessions at the joint, 510, top chilling chill. Jasper's been smoking on the apple strudel. Sounds nice. So this global leaderboard right now is showing all of the users on the app. However, the goal would be we could localize these. We could make a leaderboard shop. We can make leaderboards for events. We can make leaderboards for brands. There's a lot of ways that we can incentivize people to keep coming back and logging sessions through competition by using this leaderboard. So this is going to be a really cool thing. I even have ideas to maybe like put it on the actual homepage. So like put the leaderboard here as some form of social proof, but we want to wait until we have obviously more users so that that social proof really is proof and not just like an idea of social proof. So that is a nice breakdown of the gamification side of the app and some improvements that we're going to be making there. Now let's hop into stats. So stats is one of the most important parts of the Mary app. Again, we're building a way for you to learn about your relationship with cannabis. Just like it says here, ask questions, track sessions, learn from your insights. We're building a new way to understand your personal relationship with cannabis. So by logging the sessions, you're giving the data and compiling the data that normally would be in your head that gives you this idea of like, okay, I like this kind of weed because it usually makes me feel this way when I use it at this time for these reasons, etc., etc., etc. However, that is hard to do, especially if you're a brand new user, because you haven't created this, like, let's call it like complex map algorithm in your head that you can use to draw those conclusions. So what we're doing here at the Mary app is we're giving you a way to log all of that data, and then more importantly, we're giving you a way to understand that data. So we're doing that through graphs and charts on your stats page. So on your stats page, you can break down your daily, your weekly, your monthly, your year. An improvement that we look to make in the future is custom dates as well as comparisons so that you can compare like this week and last week, let's say. And what you would be comparing is the information that you see on these charts. So we have items consumed. As you can see, my most common item this week has been the Wishi. Man, that stuff is tasty. That's cool that that's become my most popular one because it actually is my favorite right now. So it shows that like my favoritism is really leaning towards. I'm still smoking the papaya right now because it's one of the only like rosins that I'm smoking on right now. So it's going to be a lot higher because all these others are flower. So I'm smoking a lot of the Wishi, but a lot of these other strains too. This Baby Yoda is probably one of my second favorites, so it makes sense why it's so up there. Tropicana Cherry, I just have a good amount of. It's also really yummy. Wedding Pie that we're smoking on here. It's getting close to the Wishi. I like the Wishi and the Wedding Pie together, so that's probably why they're so similar in how much they produce a really nice effect when consumed together. You got my methods of consumption. So as you can see, I've been smoking out the bong the most. Not taking as many dabs right now. Waiting on some new stuff to come. And smoking, my nice daily joint. Maybe a couple more than daily. I do yesterday. I had one of my pomegranate lemonades. Shout out Head Stash. So a little bit of a drink in there. We got reasons for consumption. As I told you guys earlier, recreation and relaxation are some of my big reasons. I recently added bedtime and wake and bake to my reasons, so those numbers will probably increase a lot more. I hadn't been tracking those up until a couple days before, but as you can see, if we go back here, you can add anytime that you want a reason for consumption, just like I would add here. You can add them, and I recently just added those bedtime and wake and bake reasons. So we'll see probably those increasing relatively quick compared to maybe some of the other ones that I don't use as much because I'm smoking every morning and every night. We have time of consumption right now. My peak time is in the afternoon. Feelings reported, mostly feeling relaxed, mostly tasting gas flavor profile. These are all the flavor profiles that I've tasted. Where you consume, I'm mostly consuming at home, sometimes at work, and mostly by myself. So there's a lot of information that you can draw from these graphs. There's more graphs that we want to add in the future. Those are some improvements that we're going to be making. We want to be able to let you compare times. So maybe I would want to compare the items consumed this week compared to last week. Let's break this down so you can also see like my year. Over the year, I've taken 43 dabs and 61. Well, it's not really the whole year. Remember, I've only been using it for 25 days. But over the last 25 days, I've been, let's look, way more bong hits than dabs. But as you can see, I was taking a lot more dabs the past before, the previous weeks than I was this last week, because this number is 43. Not as many drinks, not as many edibles, 35 joints, a little more than one a day. A lot of information that you can pull from there. So now we've gone over our gamification, we've gone over our day streak, we've gone over stats. We still have our session going. We're going to finish that soon. Our joint's looking pretty good. I'm starting to have a pretty good understanding of the feelings and how I'm feeling from it, how I'd like to rate it. So let's go ahead and finish that. Even though we're not finished with the joint, I have a pretty good feeling. So bready, cream, gas. It's a little fatty too. Kind of like when you have like a steak. And what effects do you feel? All right, I'm feeling pretty chill. I'm feeling chatty. And I'm feeling optimistic because I know what we're doing is going to really work out. How much have you consumed? Still just the 1 gram. I'm going to say it's about like a 5 or 6, about average potency. I had a friend the other day that was, when I was doing this, like here, I'm going to rate this a 3. And she was like, oh, 3? That's no good. And I'm like, no, 3's great. 3's average. I'm saying that this has been a nice average smoke. And enjoying a nice joint with chat. Let's go ahead and complete that session. So session's completed. As you can see, I'm on a 2x multiplier, so I got 100 XP. We're going to continue and maintain our 25-day streak. And boom, now we can see the session card down here. So on our session card, we can see the date, the time, our stars, us feeling chill, chatty, and optimistic, bready, cream, gas, fatty, 1 gram joint. We got 100 XP. We can see some more information on the back, the effects, the aromas, the reasons, companions, location, potency. We could edit this if we wanted. Some improvements that we're going to be making to the session cards is we're going to be adding a little triple dot here that allows you to repeat the session and allows you to edit the session so that you could go back and add some of these flavors and feelings. Typically, the reason that we want to do that is to be able to add and change the feelings, because sometimes I might be feeling chill, chatty, and optimistic right now, but maybe 45 minutes from now, I might be like getting all couch locked and tired or something like that. So having the ability to go back and edit it and say like, okay, I want to change my mind because I got these other effects that crept in a little bit later. That's going to be really important there. So that's going to be an improvement that we make to the session cards. As you can see, we can scroll and see all my session cards, as well as my week in review that you get every Friday that tells you just a breakdown of your week, gives you a clear idea without having to go to your stats, of just a nice little breakdown of what you have been consuming. So we've talked about the current app. We have one more thing that we're going to be adding to the Mary app that before launch that's really important. So we've gone over in past videos our roadmap, and right now we're working on launching v.5. We've talked about the main features being the user profiles, our answers feature, our sessions feature, stats, gamification. We're going to be adding one more thing to the list, and that's going to be, now this feature is, let's see if I can, let's pull this up just so you guys can see it. So this is V0, our favorite. We use V0 to do a lot of our prototyping on front end, really just building things out, seeing how it works, seeing how we can make improvements to the app. And one of the big improvements that we're going to be making is this stash feature. So you can see a lot of different things, little sneak peeks. I got this little sidebar that we've been working on. We've got a notifications page that we've been working on, but we'll talk more about those later. What I want to really talk about is this stash feature. So this is just a prototype of it. Stash feature is not complete yet. However, we can go ahead and take a look at it. So the stash feature, just like how we have your like recents folder when you're going and again, this doesn't look like how it's supposed to. But we have our recents folder that lets you go and choose the recent things. Like when I went and chose this wedding pie that we've already consumed before. We're going to add a new button right here that will let users go to their stash when they're asking what they consume. And when they go to their stash, they're going to have folders where they can add items, either strains or products, to certain folders. In those folders, you'll be able to go here and see the actual item, and then from the item you'll be able to go to an item page and see a breakdown of that item, including the charts and session cards from them. So this big improvement is coming before launch. I'm just kind of showing you like a prototype, because what we do is I'll build this stuff out in V0. So I have an idea of building out the stash feature. I'll build this out in V0 exactly how you see it here, and then I'll take that, share that with Nick. Nick will then go and polish it up and actually get it working and implement it. So that's what he's been working on the last week, and that's what any day now he's going to be done with, so that we actually have it implemented on the actual app, ready to go. Now we're back on the actual app, and as you can see, no sidebar, no notifications, and no stash page. So stash is coming. That's going to be one of the biggest improvements that we're making. I'm really excited to add that to this V.5 launch so that we can get the ball rolling and get this thing launched. As I said before, you can already go to the Mary app right now and start logging sessions. Just go to maryapp.io. You can either click try the app and go ahead and just like log a first session, or you can go and there'll be a little login or create an account up here. Sign in, create account. I can't remember exactly what it says. And it'll be up here. Click it, create your account, and start logging sessions. We'd love to hear what you think about the app so far. This video was a little bit longer than I thought. I was like, oh, this will be a little 10-minute-er. It ended up being a little bit longer than that. So shout out to everybody that stayed here this long and enjoyed and a better understanding of what we're doing here. We're really excited to launch soon. The next video I'll be going over a full breakdown of the Sessions app. Maybe I'll get Nick in here of the stash feature. Maybe I'll get Nick in here to give us a little breakdown of it as soon as it's up and running on the app. We're doing it. We're building, we're growing, and we're building in public. I'm really stoked to be here on YouTube sharing all of these videos and sharing our progress. We're going to start posting on Instagram maybe some of these other things. It's only up from here. So shout out to all of you guys. If you like this video, give it a like. Give us a subscribe. You'll be one of our first subscribers. And let's keep going. We're building a new way to understand your personal relationship with cannabis. We are the Mary app. I'm Will. It's been real.